Lucas stall out them pint bottles out granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin since a young nigga.
Why did my music stop? What's going on, man? What we doing?
Wow. Lucas stall out them pint bottles out granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin since a young nigga. I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. Hot niggas been got sucker niggas keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish Tech and some more than her. Yeah, she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always over. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty know I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. And I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still feel like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Cover bay, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures, temporary circumstances, to temporary measures, temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend a night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Cover bay, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
What's going on, chat? Double tap the screen on your way in. Y'all locked or what? Let's get to 100 likes right quick, chat. Y'all locked or what, man? What we doing, man? Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. Hope everybody's having a great night, man. Hold on.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit a little loud, though.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat, man? We got Candace. Peels back the layers, man. We got Candace peeling back the layers of the Erika Kirk story amid attacks from friends and enemies. They saying Matt Walsh kind of came at her. You know, she always mentions Matt Walsh. We're going to break that down as well, chat. We're going to get into this episode. Also, we got a few other things we might get into that Tylo Vera, man. Too Strong, what it do? Mama Money, what it do? Big Niche, what it do? La La, you got them plain lays ready. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, alien, NPC, get your ass in. We finna have no conversations tonight. So call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin, tell them plug live, and he running his mouth. Let's get into it, Chad. We're not gonna waste no time. We getting straight into it, man. It's kind of a long episode
on
tonight.
A journey. All right, a journey. So yesterday we told you that by all accounts, the
Hit the
voice
like
that
button,
is in
chat.
Erika's ear is Lori, her mother. Lori is the pusher, consigliere. Now,
Oh,
as a
shit,
part
she's finna
of
look
the
into her
public
mama.
psychological campaign, Erika has been curating videos to remind us that her mother is very ill. I don't dispute that. I do dispute that Erika was with her on September 10th receiving a treatment, but we'll get to that later. Not important for today. Lori Franzfey, despite being ill, has recently been put on the board of Superfeed Technologies alongside Turning Point Action's COO, Tyler Boyer. Shady dude. They're effectively then business partners. They have been for a while, actually. Lori was at first a director over at Superfeed. Rumors have been swirling online that money from Turning Point Action has been routed into Superfeed. Now, I'm not a forensic accountant, so I can neither
Co-mingling
confirm
funds,
nor
chat,
deny
that's
that. The
not good
point
business.
is, what I want you to take away here is that these two are in cahoots, okay? Now, we earlier broke the story that Tyler Boyer is, among other things, allegedly taking Turning Point into the business of real estate in particular. It might be relevant then that we learn a little bit, a thing or two, about a witness to Lori's frankly bizarre divorce documents that we went over.
Thank
Now,
you,
I know, she's a grieving widow.
So with a company that big, they raised 250 million, $250 million last cycle. Getting in real estate does not surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Maybe they're trying to diversify, but the reasoning might be a little crazy. I just don't understand why a company that big maybe wouldn't have some real estate.
Oh, she's a grieving widow. Very required that I say that. And we are therefore not allowed to speak about her Turning Point family or why the hell her mother was ever put on any board in the first place. But you know what? Billions of dollars are on the line, so I'd like to mark myself safe from being emotionally manipulated by Operation Erika Bird. Welcome back to Bride of Erika.
We have nothing to hide.
Erika Bird. Hey, chat, y'all hit the like button, man. Let's get to 100 likes right quick, man. Subscribe to the channel.
Man, oh man, Loretta Abbas, or, Wallstad, Bronzefey, Guinta. Something ain't right. Too many LLCs, too many households, always lurking behind her daughter, shady divorce docs, curated content. Even the lawyer on those shady divorce docs, Rebecca Kay, may she rest in peace. But even she was involved with horse racing. Is everybody somehow maybe connected to gambling? I want to know. All I know is that with mom, the vibes are not vibing for me, okay? Lottery tickets flying in the air with her grandma, grandparents.
They get money.
On Monday's episode,
I'm just gonna be honest with you, Chad. When it comes to I'm from the South, man, and there's certain families' names who hold weight throughout your cities, your counties, or your state, man. And a lot of those are the gambling people. Let's just be all the way honest. The people who own the casinos, the resorts, the all kind of shit like that, man. So whether it's lottery tickets, online sports betting, prop betting, horse races, and all of this shit, they're getting money, man. And yes, gambling is a easy way to launder money. So is that what she's getting at here? What is the big deal with gambling? Is it because of the religious aspect, or is it she's trying to implicate money laundering? I'm trying to follow this here.
or I guess earlier this week, Wednesday's episode, we went through Lori and Kent's divorce documents, right? The only 2 out of about 6 or so documents that were
What to do,
available.
OG? Y'all hit the like button.
That something wasn't right. 4 different dates to the alleged wedding between Lori and Kent, an unnotarized childcare agreement, plus a different date for Erika's birthday than the one initially listed in the Cincinnati News. November 22nd, across 4 sets of documents. But we caution people at home that, hey, there's other docs. Therefore, it's plausible that those remaining documents made some necessary changes. Caution, I said, caution. But you guys don't listen. One of you guys went ahead and tore the caution tape down, sent to me all the remaining documents. And those were interesting. I'll have you know that Erika's birthday on all of them is November 22nd. Yeah, it is. Her name is spelled differently a few times too. Erika with the C. We'll go over that next week. Because what I want to talk about is a person that was in these documents. There was another person mentioned, someone who is listed as the witness to these shenanigans. That's how I am going to hitherto refer to the divorce documents. The shenanigans. And that witness, his name is Richard Erpenbeck. I'll show you that here. Now, what I am blurring out on this document is it had his address, which allowed me to definitively confirm which Rick Erpenbeck we were speaking about. Who is the one that actually was the witness? Erpenbeck, by the way, anybody that's gone through following any of the people on X that have been deep diving alongside me, you will know that Erpenbeck is not an unusual name when it comes to Lori's businesses. This is actually the family that she uses many times to either notarize or to flat out incorporate her very many LLCs, regarding which, I just want to say this, I'm never able to figure out what the heck the purposes of these LLCs are. What do these businesses actually do? Lori has LLCs coming out of her ears, okay? Lori's got a lot going on. And I want
So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's like 35 or 36 damn businesses. I'm not gonna lie now, chat. If she had like 5 or 6, I would be like, over time. But 36 entities is a little wild, bro. 36 entities is fucking crazy.
to say something else. Her professional backstory in and of itself, it's odd. It's kind of like Erika odd, to be honest, right? Lori Ann.
What's up, Carlos? What's up, Angela?
By her second marriage, we discover that she's working as a secretary. She then must have fallen and bumped her head and became a technological genius. There was no evidence of it, but then suddenly, whoop, she's arrived and she is just putting together tech companies, as many people do. I am waiting for that late stage technological brilliance to fall upon me because I can barely sort through my apps. I don't even know how to get to the App Store in a fast enough time. Let me take you through the litany of LLCs that she has filed. This is Lori, which feature Richard or Donna Erpenbeck as either the secretary, the incorporator, the notary, across a 20.
Chat, I need y'all to hit the like button, man. Go to the top. It's at the left, or you can double tap your screen. Hit the like button. Say what's up, plug. Let's hit the algorithm. I need y'all to get active in the chat. Say what's up, plug. Double tap the screen. Let's go.
25-year period. Okay. Now, Lori filed for Eurotech in June of 1993. What does it do? Nobody knows, but Rick was featured. Lori and Rick filed for Eurotech International UK. Nobody knows. That was in 1995. She filed for Tech Metrics International, 1993. And in the available 1998 docs pertaining to it, Richard Erpenbeck is again listed as the secretary.
You said you good, sell out. Well, get the fuck out, Chin. How about that? How about you pick up them thong flip-flops and get the fuck out? Since you saying you good, sell out, man. Listen, man, get the fuck out. How about that?
Carrie, Lori and Rick filed for Tech Metrics Limited. That's International UK in 95. She also filed for virtual registration. Okay, in December of 1999, you can see that we've got both Donna and Rick Erpenbeck had signed off on that. Also, does that say, yeah, there you go. You see Lori's signature. Everyone's kind of involved in getting these documents together. And then we know Lori files for AZ Tech. She goes to Arizona. We're in Europe. We're doing tech everywhere. That's in August of 1997. And she eventually renames that E3 Tech in 2017. Again, her, Rick, Donna, you can go through these docs yourself. Their names are on there. Now, look, I've been around. I've seen some stuff. I can tell you my instinct when I see a ton of LLCs and I don't know what the heck they're doing, especially when they're identifying themselves as tech, as a technology. That should be easily identifiable. Okay, you're a tech genius. In my mind,
what's so conservative?
I'm not saying this is the circumstance, but my unprofessional opinion, my mind goes to money laundering, right? Got to get rid of money. People got to start creating LLCs. Now you're thinking, you're very sensible, hey, maybe that's not the case. There's no evidence for that. Good. Even the thought of that, it's just thinking about that would make us a demon. No, everything's above board, always. Now, Rick Erpenbeck, under that scenario, might just be a fantastic businessman. He certainly, like I said, is a longtime business associate of Lori's, following her from Ohio to Arizona. And also, there's Donna Erpenbeck mentioned, who's also featured on the divorce docs. On her business docs. So it sounds like it's a family business. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you a little bit about that Erpenbeck family. The Erpenbeck scandal, as it was termed, that went down between Ohio and Kentucky around 2002. Oddly, the exact year that Lori and Erika head out to Notre Dame Prep. More on that later. I'll have a timeline for you. So there was a massive home building company called Erpenbeck Company. It was, as it sounds, owned and operated by generations of the Erpenbeck family. The family had 4 brothers: Bill Erpenbeck, our boy Rick Erpenbeck, Gary Erpenbeck, married to Donna Erpenbeck, who we just saw as a notary. And we have Jeff Erpenbeck, plus their dad, Tony. You're never going to forget their dad, Tony, and their sister, Lori Ann Erpenbeck. Now, the Erpenbecks approached new homeowners offering to help them with construction, sometimes offering pathways for them to cut down financial fees pertaining to their new home ownership. You know, pay us directly, we'll handle the rest, kind of a deal. Young people buying home.
So it sounded like they're offering builder loans. What Candace is describing to me sounds like a builder loan where you get incentives, maybe you get a lower interest rate, an easier path to home ownership. It sounds like, if you're familiar with the builder loan, it's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Homes for the first time, but the homes, it turns out, were not being built. And their
Dang.
mortgages, it turned out, were not being paid either. Take a listen to this news
Dang.
clip.
Erpenbeck served 21 years after pleading guilty to defrauding banks of $34 million. That was back in April of 2003. So he was a home builder who funneled the proceeds from home closings back to his company and himself. So his crimes left hundreds of home buyers on the hook for millions of dollars in unpaid mortgages.
I really don't want to have that clip undersell to you what went down. I just want you guys to understand like what this case was about. It was about missing money, $34 million seemingly evaporated from well-meaning people who were trying to buy their homes. It was, like I said, Ohio,
pyramid
Kentucky
scheme.
case that was for
They
the
took the money
ages.
and
I am
ran.
talking real
34
courtroom drama.
34 million, they took the money and ran. They were promising these people builder loans, you know, better terms, lower barriers of entry, and they took the money and just ran, man. It was a Ponzi scheme, man. They probably ran out of they were the builders, but they started acting like a damn investment firm. Maybe they ran out of money, man. Maybe they tried to scale too quickly or just done too much. That's what it sounded like to me.
Forged documents, shady subcontractors. Check out just some snippets from articles recapping this case. I'm going to get to this part. Lori Ann Erpenbeck was a standout character. Tells us that by 2004, Lori Erpenbeck seemingly had enough of her family. She already knew that her brother Bill had thought about killing her. So when Dad Tony offered to give her $500 for her birthday, she then turned the conversation to her testimony about Bill. She held her ground. No, she was not going to lie under oath. Pardon. Tony offered her money to change her testimony about Bill. Lori told her lawyer about the conversation, and the FBI was looped in. She agreed to wear a wire to capture information. This is the sister. Over the next few days, she met with her dad and Bill as they tried to convince her to agree to a fake storyline, and then she
wore a wire on her daddy and her brother. Oh shit, Chad. This is dirty macking, man. She wore a wire on her dad and her brother. Is nuts, bruh. Where is the loyalty?
started the fraud to help the company's cash flow, and that it got over her head. Then she let Bill assume responsibility. The FBI soon arrested both men. Oh, okay. Sister wore a wire. Let's read this portion. The proposed $1 million hits. Okay, Tony Erpenbeck, that's dad.
I
Have
am.
been in a
Now, I'm just going to be honest with you, Chad. I don't understand how a proposed $1 million hit could. What is a proposed $1 million hit? I know what it technically is, but it's like $4 million, man. Motherfuckers, excuse my language. $4 million, MFers should be gone, man. Disappeared. Finito, man. Finito. You seen what they did for $15 million for Maduro, man. No, it was $50 million. $50 million, they went over there, Black Ops style, man, and got Maduro. $1 million bounty, bro. Disappear like David Blaine, man.
federal medical prison in Lexington for just a few months when he tried to hire someone to murder and kidnap the people connected with putting him and his son behind bars. He wanted then senior U.S. District Judge S. Arthur Spiegel and then retired Assistant U.S. Attorney Kathleen Brinkman killed. Tony also targeted an FBI agent's children. He told a would-be hitman to bury the agent's 3 kids in a casket with crackers, water, and an air pipe for 10 days. He recruited a fellow inmate about to be released from prison to commit the crimes, but the inmate flipped on Erpenbeck and wore a wire for the FBI. The recording caught Tony Erpenbeck offering to pay fake hitman $500,000 in gold stock first. Then Erpenbeck planned to pay the man and another $500,000 from offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands after news of the kidnappings hit the newspapers.
Oh, so it's supposed to be a bunch of kidnappings and unalivings for that million. I was gonna say, man, for that million one hit, man, I don't see what they talking about proposed, man. But yeah, for a lot of kidnappings and unalivings, 500,000 twice before and after, yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's another piece of just this case.
Bad
This
business.
case is
chat,
amazing.
Bad business.
This is a $250,000 on the green. Bill Erpenbeck lost thousands of dollars when he ratted out his own friend in 2009. Oh man, this one goes on, and he asked his friend to put $250,000 to dig it up, dig a hole and put the money in there so that he had a little cash when he got out. Okay. Another personal favorite portion of mine from the news of that day is the notary testifying that Rick's brother Bill would sometimes ask her to notarize documents while the person involved was not even present, right? She said Bill Erpenbeck sometimes asked her to notarize documents when the people who supposedly had signed them were not in her presence. Oh, yeah, that's illegal. And it is exactly what I pointed out to you guys, having not known this whole story and background, not knowing that this Rick was going to come up in the documents that I couldn't access at the time. I said, something's not right here. I'm a notary up in New York. That jumps out at me. It seems odd that anybody would sign away their rights to a court case, a legal representation, without a notary being present. That just did not seem to me to be a clerical error. Anyway, documents in the court's absent notarization. It's not how court cases work. It looked to me like someone was looking the other way. Like somebody maybe knew the county clerk and was up to no good. Now, like they told you, like these newspapers are telling you, when things were going down, Lori Ann, sister, wanted to cooperate with the police. That was a no-no. You never go against the family. So they started threatening her. Then she goes into hiding until she gets a phone call from her dad, Tony. And her dad tells her, "It's the last time you might see me." She thinks he's going to commit suicide. So she runs down to the house, comes out of hiding, only to realize her brothers, Bill, Gary, Rick, they're there telling her, hey, okay, brothers are there. Lori doesn't care. Like you read, we went through already. She wears wire for the feds, meets up with dad again, yada, yada, yada. She's terrified.
Thank you, Pat. Chat, double tap the screen. We got to get the likes up, and we're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. All of this is about Lori. Is this all about Erika's mom? She said Erika's mom wore the wire and shit on her dad and shit. What the fuck is going on, chat? Allegedly.
Bill is going to kill her. The recording is played in court. They get him. They get Tony. Bill pleads guilty. He picks up additional charges for threatening to kill his sister. He's ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison. He ends up serving 21 years after a judge later shortens his sentence. His dad, Tony, who had just been sentenced to 5 years and 10 months for bank fraud, with a concurrent sentence for 60 months for obstruction of justice. Well, he later then received another 20 years because, he tried to hire the hitman to kill the U.S. district judge and the U.S. attorney and the FBI agent's children. Okay. That's the Erpenbeck family. Lori Ann, the sister, does a year, 1 count of bank fraud. Brothers Gary and Jeff get off scot-free.
Okay, so this is not about Erika Kirk. I guess Lori's just a common theme here, I guess, because these some Erkenbecks, man. I don't think they got nothing to do with the Erkenbecks unless she tried to, didn't she come out and say a whole bunch of last names at the beginning of this shit? No, Chad, it's
Rick Erpenbeck, the youngest of the clan, Lori's Erpenbeck agrees to let go of his Kentucky legal license, but he otherwise avoids any charges because his name was not on the business. But he did have to testify. And throughout his testimony, we learn that one of the big mysteries of this case was why his father, Tony, had transferred so much money to LLCs that were under Rick's control. We can read this together. Here we go. In his deposition Thursday, Rick Erpenbeck testified, "You'd have to ask my dad. Actually, what was in his head? I saw it as a good investment. He had already always, helped the other boys out from the beginning. I was the one who worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs through college, 2 jobs through law school while he was helping out, the other boys, the Erpenbeck company. And he wanted to give me the opportunity to purchase these assets." That's, they say right there, the biggest question to be answered is why Tony Erpenbeck agreed to shift so much money into Rick Erpenbeck's control. No, mystery. Rick made out real nice because he wasn't involved with the business. Just a hardworking kid. His family's just up to it. But you want to know what never happened?
So that might be why he transferred the money. If they got all of this shit going on and people wearing wires and telling and shit like that, maybe he signed all the shit over so somebody could take the fucking money and run before the feds got involved. Man, they got $1 million hits going on. Damn. Oh, what, man? They want to leave with something. They trying to bury $250,000 and shit.
Who didn't make out nice to homeowners. They never got their money back. Where did it go? Some of us, some of it, of course, went to Bill's lavish lifestyle. But where did the rest of the money get siphoned off to? It's just one big Scooby-Doo mystery. Anyway, the story goes in 2024. Bill Erpenbeck does get released.
Bro, chat. Ever since I seen that Hello Yasin video, it's crazy, bro. Like, even her dropping the little Scooby-Doo hint, like, that's a running theme on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? They say that she does these Scooby-Doo type stories where it leads you on into the next episode where she pulls the mask off of something. And now her saying, like, this Scooby-Doo shit, it's just kind of mocking the situation. Like, it's good PR, man. I see the PR.
Apparently, like, it shows us he attempted to stow away some cash. This is like a never-ending scandal. Take a listen.
The Erpenbeck name was back in the news in 2009 when FBI agents dug up a cooler full of cash from Summit Hills Country Club in Crestview Hills. A friend had buried money that he received from Erpenbeck on the course next to Erpenbeck's former home. Erpenbeck had hoped.
They burying loads of cash next to the damn country club, man. It's crazy, man. Groundskeeper didn't know about this.
He used that money after he got out of prison.
Now, why is this relevant? Why is this story relevant? Because it just seems to be the case that fraud surrounds Lori Fronsvay, Walstead, whatever her name is. Fraud just seems to surround her, from her parents to her grandparents to the person that's doing her.
Chat, subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the like button, man. Do y'all believe that this is going to lead anywhere? That's the whole thing. A lot of the creators are coming to Candace now saying this is going to lead to nowhere. Do y'all believe this is going to lead to anywhere? Like the buried money and cash. I think she's laying the foundation of just the fraud that's going on around this shit, because she says that, I guess, the company TPUSA is due to make billions. So, and then they're saying 10 million came up missing from Charlie's fund. So I think this is some foundation laying going on.
Documents. It's just always around her, to her very many businesses, and nobody knows what they do. She just can't seem to get away with it. And do you know what's crazy to me? That despite her obviously being very much aware of who the Erpenbecks were, a case which included attempts of coordinated murder and kidnapping of children, putting them into boxes, Lori didn't seem scared. No, she didn't go, hey, maybe I just don't want to. I know it sounds like you really were just at school and you don't know why you got all this money, but I'm good. Yeah, I think if my lawyer called me, if I looked into Noah, and Noah, his family's in prison for murdering and putting people in boxes.
Hey, look, chat, we got to get the likes up, man. We still haven't hit 100 likes, man. Like, I don't know what be going on with y'all. Like, the like button's at the top. All you gotta do is double tap the screen. We 25 subscribers away. We go live every single night over here. I mean, damn. What's going on? Just hit the like button, bro. Keep the shit pushing, bro. Shit's crazy. Fuck.
Are threatening to put people in boxes, and it's a trial of a century. I'd say, you know what? I can probably figure out how to incorporate my LLC by myself. It's really easy now.
What's up,
Everything's so
Stacey?
easy these days. Like, I'm good, Noah. Thank you.
What's up,
Not
Tony?
Lori. No, not for Lori. She brings this guy in, and it just so happens to be, I know it's so coincidental, these are clerical errors. It just so happens to be that she's got some docs that look a little shady. And I looked through those documents, and no, it was not corrected. And no, Erika's birthday never does, even across different documents, seem to go back to the 20th. So Lori did not at all.
I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people hide their birthdays. Now, for a child, I would imagine it would be a little more difficult. But like we've heard of presidents, a lot of spiritual people, a lot of political figures, like they hide their birthday and they change their birthday and they do shit like that, man.
I guess, have the impetus to think that maybe working with this
So
family
people
in
can't
any
read 'em.
capacity was immoral, demonic. What are some of the adjectives that they keep describing me as? Yeah, all of those. No, she was good. It's interesting that Lori sends Erika to Tesseract in Arizona, and the school then suddenly has to shutter its doors because it, once again, another financial scandal. Money evaporates. Nobody knows where it went. People think that it may have been a scam. That just keeps happening. It must be just so scary for Erika. See this so much in her life. I'm scared. I'm scared for Erika. That's why I'm doing this series. I'm scared for her. She's a grieving widow. Later on, Lori's going to start working with the Farnsworths, camera guy, taking down the camera. And then she's going to strike up this partnership with Tyler Boyer, this very shady COO of Turning Point Action, who is going to introduce Erika to Charlie Kirk. And in the background, Lori and Tyler are going to do business together. Now, remember when people wondered why it was that Lori was a board member of Superfeed Technologies. And I'm in front of Erika, and I told you guys that the answer that Erika gave me was because they just needed a familiar name. Yeah, I was born yesterday. Let's go with that. I was born on Thursday, yesterday. And Tyler and Lori, by the way,
What to do,
Superfeed,
Stein?
already objectively involved in scandal. You could look this up yourself. Claims of bribery. I think I had it, the headline in Yahoo News. Kari Lake's bribery scandal involves a shady GOP tech firm. Yeah, they're referring to Superfeed Technologies, had its business revoked by the state of Arizona while it employed Jeff DeWitt, its former COO, and Lake, who had received more than $100,000 from the entity in the personal financial disclosure that she filed last month. How weird.
Thank you, Stacey.
How weird. I just want to be clear. Lori's a victim. Everywhere she goes, this just happens. Money goes missing everywhere she goes, even when her daughter's just going to school. Okay. And Tyler Boyer, probably the same. I know that he recently required a literal federal pardon from the President of the United States for fraud. He was credibly accused of 9 felonies related to trying to subvert the election, including fraud, forgery, and conspiracy.
What up, Steve?
He's still facing state charges. But that's just, everybody just doesn't understand how much Turning Point is going through right now. And they're really sad. They're really sad. They're grieving differently. Yeah. Now, I also broke the news to you. I said at the top that Tyler Boyer is telling people that they are now going to get into the real estate business to help young homeowners because it was Charlie's vision, right? He's telling people that Charlie the ghost, who they can manipulate to do whatever they want, always, he always told students not to go to college.
So this is the funnel. This is what I'm saying. TPUSA, it's a funnel. These high schools, that like even in Oklahoma and a lot of these high schools, especially in the South, they're putting these things on campuses. I believe one of these states, was like, hey, every high school is going to have a TPUSA chapter. Now, when you add in the home ownership or them getting into buying houses, I was thinking commercial real estate. I'm not gonna lie. Multi-million-dollar company, most of those have commercial real estate, just on the books. But that's not the case. She's saying home ownership because Charlie said skip college, and the logical explanation if you skip college and get married is to get a house. So if they're going to create a pipeline from high school, out of high school to the voter booth and into a home, this is going to be kind of crazy. Like, how are they going to wing this? Are they going to give are they going to give grants or something? Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to start a company and, like I said, do builder loans, give incentives, lower than market rate interest, lower than, whatever the interest is now, lower? Like, what are they going to do? How is this going to go into that pipeline that we know has become TPUSA? Thank you, Big Niche. Big Niche said, like the live stream chat, we're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. So how did they incorporate chat? Give me your best answer in the chat. How do they incorporate home ownership into this pipeline from high school to the voter booths and into adulthood? How do they incorporate housing into that? I want to know y'all best answer.
And to instead get married young, and therefore the next logical step would be for Turning Point to go into homeownership to help them become homeowners. Trust the science.
The hell?
If you think that's weird, it's because you're demonic.
Grants,
Erika's
$10,000
Lori,
grants,
in case you missed
$5,000
it,
grants.
is the one.
Maybe they do like a grant, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're part of the chapter and you're getting ready to buy a home, they'll help you with some down payment assistance or something, like $2,000 down payment assistance. I don't know.
Person that Erika now posts for sympathy. She's curating Lori, right? To let
Hit
you
the
know
like
that
button,
Lori
chat.
is sick. That to me felt like a person I should probably be looking into, right? How dare you have any questions about anything right now? Do you know where Erika's going? She just lost her husband and her mom's sick. I think these people are sick in the head. There is something very wrong with Lori. There is something very wrong with Erika.
Damn, she's getting fired up. There's something very wrong with Lori, very wrong with Erika. Okay, Candace, I gotta sit up in my chair. Listen, chat, I need y'all to get to 100 likes right quick, man. There's no way we still not at 100 likes. Like, I don't know what's going on. If y'all asleep, just getting off work, looking around, I mean, sometimes we just gotta pause the show to get this shit together, man. I try to watch the shit, straight through, pause here and there, give my commentary, but it's like, fuck, nobody wants to hit the like button. So we'll turn this bitch to the plug show. Y'all know I love a good monologue. I love a good monologue, chat.
And there was something very wrong with this picture of Lori, Tyler, and Erika Kirk being together. There just is. It's my opinion. It's my show. They really think we are this.
Thank you, Barbara
stupid.
Light.
Anyway, we'll be right back after a quick break. All right, you guys, thanks to you.
What do you mean you can't finish building, Barbara? Let me know what you mean you can't finish building. Are you a damn Candace got actual commercials in this bad boy now? Damn, they got the lady up there putting the damn Olay face cream. I don't think it's Olay, chat. It's whatever brand she's promoting. But they got the lady up there spreading the damn face cream. Oh yeah, Candace getting money, man. What do you mean you couldn't finish the build? But yeah, chat, anybody, if you like and subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments and I'll give you your shout out. All likes and new subs get a shout out. But you have to like the video and be a new sub to get that shout out.
Products that work together so your skin can stay calm, hydrated, and strong.
You said money, Barbara. When did you start building? When did you start building? If you said you can't finish building, what year did you start the build?
Walgreens. So who is Erika Kirk? My answer
Candace,
is
all that
Lori's
Walgreens.
child. I think Lori comes first. Lori has always come first. And Lori is exceedingly problematic, okay? I understand she is sick. I understand someday George Soros is going to be sick, okay? Doesn't mean that we don't get to discuss the things he is involved in. The question that I was asking is what went on with this marriage between Lori and Kent, this alleged marriage between Lori and Kent? Why do I feel like it's not even a real marriage? I see no evidence of the marriage occurring, or like it just seems like I don't know if a marriage can occur across 16 years. I don't know if it can happen that many times across 2 documents. And like I said, we have the other documents and we will show you them at the beginning of next week. Well, fortunately for me, another sleuth, someone in Marble.
I'm trying to figure out what's the point of pencil whipping the documents. Is she trying to say that this couple was put together through the government or what? Because I don't think any one of her parents are immigrants, right? So it wouldn't be pencil whipping the documentation to get over here. It would have to be to hide identity or something. I don't know. I'm trying to follow this chat. I'm trying to follow.
Massachusetts said, how can I help? I have access to documents here. I can take a look and see what I can find.
Thank you,
Lauren
Steve.
Kent. And they were not able to pull up any marriage documents. Doesn't mean that they don't exist, but they were able to pull up some deeds where Lori and Kent had signed the deeds over and when they had first received the deed to their home in Marblehead, Massachusetts. And there's a little interesting tidbit here where Lori and Kent are listing as having been a couple from Rhode Island, from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. North Kingston, Rhode Island. First off, I want to tell you that that's not a place. So there's Kingston, I would know, because I went to the University of Rhode Island. There's clerical errors, but there's Kingston, Rhode Island, which is about 2 miles long and is just the University of Rhode Island campus where I graduated.
So, Tony, to catch you up, that first part was setting the foundation of all the fraud and shit that's surrounding, I guess Erika's mom is what she's trying to put out there. A lot of fraud and dealings with people who have been caught up doing fraud. So I guess, and a lot of missing money. They're saying like wherever this lady goes, some damn money comes up missing, according to Candace, you know. I haven't fact checked that, but according to Candace, they're saying this lady shows up, money gets to missing, allegedly.
From. And then there's South Kingstown, North Kingstown, and apparently they lived there, except I can't find a trace of Lori and Kent having lived in Rhode Island. So my Rhode Island sleuths, people down at the county, maybe in Rhode Island.
Barbara, you said you had to buy another 2 acres in Brown County. I have to do this on my own now, and it's hard. My husband's disabled. Daughter, brain tumor. My trailer is 1974 falling apart, man. We're going to pray for Barbara, man. Barbara, I hope you get everything together, man. And blessings do come your way, Barbara. I understand this situation's hard right now for a lot of Americans, man.
If you want to take a peek and see if you can find this couple, this lovely couple, and maybe they got married in Rhode Island. Well, I guess no, because their divorce docs say they got married in Marblehead, Massachusetts, but people are saying they can't find those divorce docs. So this makes it seem like they maybe got married in Rhode Island. But you can maybe just get married in Marblehead while you're living together in Rhode Island. Maybe they were renting property. I don't know, but I want to know. You find something, Rhode Islanders, hit me up. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. Now jump.
John says, I'm a Candace fan, but when she talks of Erika Kirk, she sounds like someone does with Trump derangement syndrome, talking about Trump. See, the only difference is people with TDS, they not getting no damn money. Candace getting some money right now, talking about Erika Kirk. Most of the people that you see talking about Trump with TDS, they not getting paid for it, man. Definitely not getting paid what the fuck she's getting paid for this shit, man. Let's be honest.
Jumping back into our Erika timeline. Now, we talked about how she went to this school, Tesseract. It's also going to be a scam, financial scam, but that's fine. She's the victim. After Erika Franz-Fay leaves Tesseract in 2000 because the school is facing a financial crisis, I also want to point out, like I said, the school's being run by Jewish women. They're even renting from a Jewish school, the Looking Glass. And stereotypically, I want to say something. Stereotypically, Jewish people are known for very good accounting, but not in this case. Not sure what happened there. Thereafter, there is evidence, and we have not been able to find anything concrete, but there is evidence that Erika went back up to Ohio for about 3 years, from 2000 to 2002. She apparently attended a school known as St. Ursula Villa. St. Ursula Villa is actually separate from St. Ursula Academy. It's a privately owned, and at first glance, you would think it was a Catholic school, but actually, despite its name, despite it being on the St. Ursula Academy property, it was not owned by the nuns as St. Ursula Academy was. St. Ursula Villa actually had private funding in private. It was completely separate from the Catholic Church at this time, from what I'm able to see. So we cannot pull up who was funding this school at that time. So if you have yearbooks from St. Ursula Villa, not the broader academy, but St. Ursula Villa, from the years 2000 to, let's take it up to 2003, and you see Erika Franzwey in there, or you remember her being there, please reach out to us. Like I said, these two schools were operating same place, separate entities. Send us an email. What happens next in her life, though, is pretty easy to document. Erika is at Notre Dame Prep. And I should note, I did not know this at the time, but Notre Dame Prep was formerly the Tesseract School, the one that they had to shutter in North Scottsdale. Now the doors are reopened, and it's Notre Dame Prep. And it's very easy to document Erika throughout these years. In 2003, she's playing volleyball because she gets involved in sports. We can just find her. And I also want to say this, it's also easy to track her because despite her claim that she got into pageantry because she got a mailer one year. Let's roll that clip of what she said again yesterday.
Was it after that? That's when you started pageants? Or when did that come about?
So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing ever since I was 5. Like that was I wanted to play, and that was all I wanted to do. I was a gym rat, for lack of a better term. And I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that.
They nominated her with the damn Boosie fade. It's crazy.
But okay. So I shared it with my mom, and I was reviewing all the different things that you have to go through. And I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title.
Nice.
I don't care about the photo shoots. I just want to be able to overbook myself, being able to get involved with the local communities, with the local organizations that are actually making a difference. So the pageant world for me was something that was not a form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration.
Okay, so it wasn't about narcissism. She wasn't groomed. By the way, if you have to say that you weren't groomed for something, you probably were. You have to just kind of say that. It's probably because you were. And the reality is that every single year from 2005 through to 2012, Erika was involved in beauty pageants. So that's 7 years of her life that we could find. There could be more. There could be, she could have been doing pageantry while she was in Ohio for a couple of years. I'll let you know, keep you posted. I should also add here that some pageant women disputed her narrative. They wrote to us that she was just randomly invited. They said that minors in particular are not just freely solicited to join pageant world, and that their photo has to be submitted by a parent or a guardian. I'm not an expert on that. And maybe I wasn't pretty enough. I was a little funny looking, had a little bit of an underbite, but I never received any of these mailers that she's talking about. Anyway, let's jump into an Erika timeline, and you guys can follow along here. 2005, Erika is still attending Notre Dame Prep, and she is playing basketball. She was a junior in high school from 2005 2006.
Was she
is going
hooping,
to
though?
win first
Was
runner-up
she hooping?
in the National America Miss Arizona pageant, and she will represent Arizona in the upcoming All-American Miss pageant in November of 2005, which takes place in Los Angeles. That year, Lori Franzwey is listed in the House bill budget for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's for another business that she has called IMET Laboratories. Like I said, don't ask me what any of her businesses do. It's not clear. In August, just ahead of Erika's senior year, this is 2006 now. In August, just ahead of her senior year, she's going to win the National American Miss Teen pageant, and she wins a chance and takes it to travel to D.C. to present her plans to Representative J.D. Hayworth and Senator John Kill. Erika becomes involved with a charity known as Andrea's Closet, which works with a hospital in Winslow, Arizona for kids. Erika notes that she stops by that hospital often on the way to basketball games and that she wants to establish her own charity in the future. That year, her father, Kent Francevay, is listed as a risk assessment contractor. He's mentioned also as a resident of Surprise, Arizona, concerned. Basically, he's trying to get more funding from the DHS. You get this sense that now the family's like, we need government contracts for stuff. That'll work for us. Lori is going to have to close down Virtual Registration International Incorporated, the one that Rick helped her open, because the tax department force closes it for lack of a tax filing. So that tends to happen a lot with some of these LLCs. In 2007, we have Erika winning the Miss American. Her teen year begins. So you have the pageant at the end of a year, and then you have the crown for the following year, for those of you who are like me and do not know how pageantry world works. So if you're competing in 2006, you are competing for 2007, and then 2007 is going to be your year. So that is her Miss American teen year. And that is also the year that she's going to graduate from Notre Dame Prep in the spring, receiving a full basketball and academic scholarship to Regis University, which is in Denver, Colorado. She is also named as a finalist for the Arizona Interscholastic Association's Everyday Heroes Award. Okay, that's the first time you're going to hear an expression, Everyday Heroes. We know that's going to end up being what she calls her charity once it gets minted in 2009. But that's it. She got an award for that, and I guess it's stuck. In the 2007 and 2008 school year, Erika is going to begin playing basketball. She got the scholarship, and she does that. Regis University begins in the fall. I could find 2 newspaper entries of her scoring, November 24th game and against South Dakota, and then another entry on December 1st. And yeah, she's seemingly, if I was just following the paper trail, I would say she had abandoned her scholarship. And I was wondering, like, did she transfer to Loyola Marymount? Like, what happened here? And you should know, of course, never leave Lori out. Lori's first off, she's listed now as having been married to Larry Ginta. That's the first time that we see that, because Joe Abbas dies, and it looks like she is married. Lori and Larry, maybe they're saying that they're just together, who knows, and that's why they're listing him. I'm not positive. But Lori, every year, there's always a new LLC. So Lori is going to file AZ Tech International with Rick Erpenbeck on the documents, and that will, they had already filed that. It gets canceled by the tax department. That's right. There's so many LLCs and so many cancellations. This one gets canceled. 2008 is where it gets pretty interesting, because I was trying to find Erika's very present, and suddenly in 2008, I can't find her. Okay, I put this as like Erika's missing school year. Now, she herself disputes this, and various times she says she played basketball for 2 years, and she's going to note in a future alumni packet for Notre Dame that she was indeed playing basketball at Regis University for 2 years, but I could not confirm that. And interestingly enough, Regis University still has her basketball stat page up. And they're on my side. They say they only have a record of her playing from 2007 to 2008. That's the season that she played. Now, she may have just stayed on. It's possible that she continued her study. She said she had an academic scholarship at Regis. I thought that. I was like, maybe she stopped playing basketball and she decided to just focus on her studies. And that's why I can't find her at basketball games. Maybe that's why Regis is not acknowledging that she continued to play. But then I thought, nope, I think something else happened here. She does indeed go missing, because Erika gives an interview in 2020 where she's reflecting on her life. It's a rather obscure interview which has since been removed, by the way. They contacted someone and got this taken down, but not before I got it. Not before I got it and saved it. As soon as I saw it, I said, save this. They're going to start going backwards and trying to delete stuff. And this one was a gem. And she's going to confirm that after she passes her crown, so in 2007, she's wearing the crown, and then she passes her crown, she is going to confirm that she does indeed go missing after that period. So this would be, of course, in 2008. Take a listen to what Erika says herself.
I prayed for God to just strip my ego from all of that stuff, all of that world, all of the plastic hat crown stuff with the banner. That was just, it was me from the standpoint of a philanthropic side, but the hometown hero thing was just weird.
Chat, I need everybody to hit the like button. Let's get the likes up in here. Let's hit 100 likes right quick. And we 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single day over here, chat.
It was unhealthy and it was just ego fueling. So I locked myself in my room.
Let me know when you subscribe. I give you a shout out.
A good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife, and we would go to the church and she would just pour into me every single day. And I just was reading scripture and read the Bible cover to cover multiple times.
That is very interesting. How can an active college student purport to see no one but her mother and her pastor's wife for 8 months? She says nobody saw her. Check. That's true. I'm highlighting this particular period of time because I suspect that this could potentially represent a time when Erika trained to become a Christian. Again, this is my personal opinion. It's my podcast. But given what we've learned about Fort Huachuca, an intel base that literally trains Christians, I'm asking myself, was she just training? Was she training to become a Christian? Was she training to be able to impress people like Charlie by just always having a Bible verse? Now she can't even get out a sentence without making it somehow a Bible verse or a holy in some degree. And there's something that registers to people as off about that. I want to know, who is her pastor's wife? Who is the pastor's wife? I was the only person that saw Erika for 8 months. And again, she is dating when this happened herself. She says she hands over her crown. She wanted to strip herself from all this plastic. And by strip herself, she means she's going to then continue to compete every single year. In fact, she competes that year too. But who is the pastor's wife? We tried to find out by going through her old tweets. There's an account that Erika has since locked down. Shout out to the mommy sleuth who said, hey, Candace, I have access. Do you want my password? Special shout outs to that hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some people just have logins on X, okay? And what we were able to discern, and again, we're putting this as a possibility, and since Turning Point didn't answer our first slate of questions, there's no point. And actually, we particularly went out to them 2 days ago with this specific question, who was the pastor? They didn't answer. But we thought a possible church could be the City of Grace, which is in Scottsdale, City of Grace of Scottsdale. Pastor Terry Christ is mentioned on her X feed as early as 2011. She says, Pastor Terry is awesome. We've got some more tweets here. I cherish your friendship and I'm grateful for your love. Judith Christ, that would be his wife. You are the epitome of a Proverbs. I'm totally obsessed with City of Grace, she says. Sunday mornings with my Tyler Massey. Oh, no, you guys know Tyler Massey. She didn't date anybody before. Charlie, oh no, you guys are messing up. My heart is overwhelmed with incredible amounts of joy. Congratulations, Terry Christ, Judith Christ. The vibes are vibing. Now, coincidentally, and I'm going to bring Ashley on in a second to explain a little more, but I'll tell you that Pastor Terry is very close with Brian Houston, the Hillsong Church founder, who infamously attempted to cover up his father's pedophilia. Brian Houston, on his father, who was never charged, said, quote, I have no doubt now that my father was a serial pedophile and will probably never know the extent of it. That's from him. That's a quote from him. She has been friends since 1994. So Erika has been friends with them. So let me bring on Ashley to explain that the Terry, Christ, and Judith and the relation in a better manner, because she's way deeper down that rabbit hole than I am.
Yeah, so like we said, Pastor Terry Christ and his wife, Pastor Judith Christ, they were very close with Erika at this time. From 2011 to around 2016 is where we can track their relationship. And interestingly, Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much like he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related. So nothing to see there. And then one other weird thing that happened was Pastor Terry Christ and his wife were accused of having, well, this is just word on the street, but they would have their congregants like throw up into bags to get rid of bad spirits. And so that's just word on the street, allegedly.
Allegedly, I will say that even regarding the pastor, even though his son is making the allegation that he believes his father was a pedophile, if he was not charged, then we cannot state that definitively. But, you know, there seems to be some smoke there. That is what has been alleged, even by his own son. And like I said, I'm not deep on that, but it is interesting. And I am not certain this is the pastor's wife that she went into training with. I'm not certain she had to throw up in a bag, you know, to get rid of bad spirits. But I do know that YouTube will do what it has to do. The YouTube creators will do what they have to do. The Baron Colemans, the Nisas, they'll do what they have to do to get to the bottom of that. Because this is an interesting turning point in Erika's life, in my view. And she strikes me as someone who, there are going to be some psychiatrists in her life and some psychologists. There's just that is what people are perceiving is a spiritual darkness. And sometimes spiritual darkness comes from people who are purporting to be spiritually light. People who can't get out a sentence without saying the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, could have something else going on, as we just learned with the Hillsong scandal. Look, that's all we know for sure. Otherwise, we can confirm to you guys that despite Erika's hiatus, 8-month hiatus, according to her, she does make it to compete for Miss USA Colorado 2009, and she places 3rd runner-up. So that's 2008. We are going to leave it there. We can show you if you want to. I guess you already saw the timeline, so you guys are good. We're going to take a very brief break, and we'll be right back. All right, you guys, the chemtrail climate exposers are going.
Y'all hit the like button, man, while we skip through these damn commercials right quick. Y'all hit the like button, double tap the screen. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We go live every single night over here talking politics, current events, and entertainment, man. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Double tap in your phone. I know you on your phone. Matter of fact, if you are on your phone, and I guessed right, hit the fucking like button, man, because I know you just laying down in your bed, probably about to drop that phone on your forehead anyway. Hit the like button.
Yes. I just have to say, people have lost their minds. I just truly have to say, I am sickened by how dishonest people are right now. Everyone out here making it, there's nothing to see here. She's just a grieving widow. Everybody's fine at Turning Point. These people love Charlie. These people didn't even write their own speeches for his memorial. Take it to the bank. They didn't even write their own speeches for the memorial. They had people writing their speeches. That's how little these people cared about Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a means to them. Go ahead, call me a monster. Make a video. You're out here telling you it's okay. I'm gonna debunk what Candace is saying. Okay, Erika lied. No, okay, well, yeah, well, that's how some people grieve. They grieve by lying. They grieve by lying. You guys need to settle down. Why do you care so much if she's lying? Why do you care so much that she suddenly apparently had a clear enough mind to decide that she wanted to take the board to a vote to make her the CEO while her children are not at home? Why do you care so much? It's weird. You guys are the weird ones. How's that PSYOP going? It's failing. We literally do not care at all what everybody is saying on the internet that is clearly being paid to say the same thing. If you find the most demonic thing that happened in all of this to be me investigating it and investigating whether or not the people that are taking over Turning Point USA are actually going to be good stewards of the billions, alleged billions going forward, if you find that to be the most demonic thing, you're out of order, my dude. You're just out of order. You're out of order. You know, when you used to see like you go to the machine and a soda can, it just has like a little piece of paper out of order. That's you right now. You're just out of whack. You know what? Lori reminds me, I gotta say this, I shouldn't say it, but I just get the vibe. I look at her and I just know. You know? I don't know, but I know. She gives me Grandpa Joe vibes. You know Grandpa Joe? He was like a #1. He got away with it. Nobody even thinks about Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He was out there. He's, oh, hey, Charlie, oh, I'm sick. Hey, nice to see you busy. Charlie pulled out a golden ticket. Grandpa Joe did a whole dance routine. He said, oh,
The
look, I'm
golden
good. Let's
ticket.
go. And then Grandpa Joe,
The fuck she be a golden ticket? That's a condom, ain't it, man? That a golden ticket, a condom. What the hell is what Grandpa Joe pulling out a condom for? What is she talking about?
of the alleged billions going forward, if you find that to be the most demonic
What the
thing,
hell is she talking
you're out of
about?
order, my
Papa
dude.
Joe done pulled
You're
out
out
a
of order.
golden ticket.
You're out of order. You know, like when you used to see like you go to the machine and a soda can and it just has like a little piece of paper out of order. That's you right now. You're just out of whack. You know what? Lori reminds me, I gotta say this, I shouldn't say it, but I just get the vibe. I look at her and I just know. You know? I don't know, but I know. She gives me Grandpa Joe vibes. You know Grandpa Joe? He was like a number one. He got away with it. Nobody even thinks about Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh,
He was out
that's
there.
what
He's,
you talking
oh, hey, Charlie, oh, I'm sick. Hey,
Golden
nice to see you
ticket.
busy. Charlie pulled out a golden ticket. Grandpa Joe did a whole dance routine. He said, oh, look, I'm good. Let's go. And then Grandpa Joe, look at the grandpa. That's Lori. That's Lori. And then Grandpa Joe, he gets down. He's the factory. Charlie was a good kid. He's a good kid. Charlie was a very good kid. Grandpa Joe gets down the factory, tells him, steal the recipe. Steal the recipe. Give it to Slugworth. Vibes. I never misread them. Vibes. Anyway, some more Erika lies. We'll get into that next week. But I just now reflect on her telling me during our sit down that she received the questions ahead of time for her interview with Barry Weiss. Like she knew that Barry was going to ask a question about me. You know, she said, they didn't rehearse her answers, but she knew what they were going to ask, obviously. And therefore, we can conclude that none of the questions caught her off guard.
Hit the like button, chat.
She definitely thought through recounting her time in New York City, whether or not she was dating. And I want you to pay special attention now, because it's even crazier in the retrospect, to her body language as she's about to tell us that she didn't date anybody for 5 years before she met Charlie. Take a listen to this.
I'm a 26-year-old Christian woman living in New York City. I would like to stay here long term, but I wonder whether it's sustainable. Do you believe there's a place for women like myself in modern cities who care about having a career, but also marrying a like-minded Christian conservative man?
Well, yeah. So it just depends on where you're looking. You know, if you're on the apps, I don't know if you're on the apps. I don't know if, I'm not going to ask you your personal journey. But what I will say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for? You yourself need to be prepared for that man, and only you will know how to do that. Does that mean staying out and going out with the girls? I'm not saying you sit on your couch and all of a sudden he's going to knock on your door and be like, honey, let's rendezvous. Like, that's not how it happens. It's not. Granted, my situation was a little different. I wouldn't do it. You went to a job interview. Literally. So this is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. Because if that went in, no joke, if he came to me and said, hey, let's go on a date to Bill's Burgers, I'd be like, I am so sorry. Thank you, but no, we're not doing this. That was my mindset. I was not in that headspace. I just wasn't.
That's cap.
It's crazy in the retrospect. Who is the Lord? Is it the Lori? Is it the Lori? Or the Lord? Is it the Lori? I don't know. But I'm going to find out. because there's some interesting things that happen in this timeline as we start to go forward. Ask yourself, what is the intended purpose of that lie? Not necessary. Who is the intended audience for that lie that is completely unnecessary? Nobody that I know would judge Erika if she was like, you know what? I was like Candace. I was down at One Oak. I was eating pizza at 3 a.m. in the morning at Artichoke. Okay. And then my life cleaned up after that. And I'm so grateful that I met a wonderful person like Charlie. I did the 20s hard in New York City. There's no expectation for her to pretend she never dated anybody. Like she just was, oh, I was sitting at home observing my roommate and go, so terrible. No, please. No. The Lori knew. The Lori knew exactly what I needed, which was Charlie. And the Tyler knew. It would have to be sat down and told that it was a business opportunity, and what the Lori knew was probably everything about Charlie. Just like people say that Lori tells her what to say and who to target in every room. I find that to be likely. I can't know that. I don't think Lori or Erika is going to cop to that. But when people are saying it across various points in her life, that the common denominator is Lori, yeah, that feels right to me. Her whole demeanor there is just crazy. What's the purpose of that lie? And of course, you guys, I hate to tell you this, but the reality is that from 2013, 2018, the 5 years preceding her relationship with Charlie, Erika had multiple boyfriends. She rang in the new year with a boyfriend, okay, in 2018. So yeah, no, the correct sentence should be, I did not have a boyfriend in New York. I didn't go out to meet a boyfriend because I already had one. And maybe he was living in DC or something, but that's the reason that I had a boyfriend. That's the answer. I always had a boyfriend and they were in different cities. So there was not actually a single year that we could find that Erika Franzwey was single. Opposite of what she says to be true. Like I said, more on that next week. We're going to have a quick break and then I'll get to some of your comments because we are going long here. All right, you guys, between groceries, travel, and higher price, Savannah and Bella, you don't know what you don't know what he's got to do editing this trailer. Me and Chris on a Saturday. Yeah, people saying we're going to go after the marketing company that did the trailer. Yeah, okay. It's ghetto over here, okay? And we're having fun. We are having fun. Next person, going to get to some more of your comments here. Rachel writes, I support you and I hope you stay safe. I watch you every single day and learn so much from you. I love how you explain things and bring a different perspective in a world that feels fake. You really do the work to show what's real. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And like I said, just like everywhere I go, I feel the love from the people. And I know I'm never going to get a fair shake from the media, but I just do not care. The Vifa writes, went to Hillsong in Oslo in my 20s. I remember how creepy it was being groomed to believe that the big pastor did for his dad, what the big pastor did for his dad, and covering up the pedophilery, I don't know if that's a word, was God's love and forgiveness. Wow, that is crazy that they tried to tell you that. That's the day. I mean, you feel it with these Calvary chapels too, as I went through and showed you how many of them were involved in pedophilia scandals. And we watched Rob McCoy try to like whitewash somebody who actually went to prison. It's just crazy. It's just, something's not right. And we have to understand these are indeed psychological operations. And they really peaked at the Charlie Kirk assassination and trying to shame us into wanting answers. Joshua Steves writes, the comments on Graham's and Dan Bongino's Candace is demonic video only confirms that the world sees the truth and has your back. Go Max, Candace. The series was great. Do you know what's really funny? Just thinking.
Yeah, Chad X was over there talking crazy, talking about Dan Bongino's shows fell off a cliff, man. His ratings have tanked, man. They talking crazy to Dan Bongino.
About that in general, like just as a man, this is a serious question. I'll leave it rhetorical. Like as a man, if you see like 45 other dudes with the microphone all being theatrical, oh, it's demonic, oh, this is crazy, I'm coming for you, Candace, I'm gonna like harm you. They were like, there was violence. They were saying what they were going to do violently, what deserves to happen to her. How do you not like recognize that there is nothing manly about that? It just never lands. When men get all fired up and are shouting about a trailer that was dropped by a girl, like it's just, what are you doing? What do you, like, just stop doing that. Please stop doing that. And to the other men, if 75,000 other men think they're brave for making videos, you don't need to be the 76th. I promise you, none of you are brave. None of you are changing the game, okay? You're all being emotionally impacted by a trailer that hasn't even come out. It's lame. It's very lame. This is why I like the East. I keep telling you guys, this is why I like Russia. I just feel like in Russia, when you go on YouTube, there's not a bunch of men crying. I feel like they're not like, stop it, Candace. Bad things happen when good men don't make videos on YouTube about a series that hasn't come out, a 2-minute trailer. Like, just, please stop. I am begging you all to just stop. They're probably not going to stop. It's fine. Okay, keep being crybaby men. Corey Henry writes, I have lived in Cincinnati for 60 years, and I remember this so clearly. The Erpenbeck scandal. Go Max, Candace, Christ is king. What do you guys think the real reason was Lori got out of there? Oh, I forgot. Because she slipped and fell and bumped her head and became a technological genius. Like I said, I can't wait till that happens to me because I'm really bad at tech and I need that. I just need that in my life. Lastly, the Nicole writes, I just miss Charlie as an audience member would, after the years of listening, not only seeing his content come up, just continues to remind me it won't ever be the same. Thank you, Candace, for doing what others won't. I'm praying for you. Christ is king. There will never be another Charlie. And, you know, I still kind of go through the emotions and sometimes I'm like angry at him, even though he's not here. Whereas I'm just like, man, when I see him again, I'm just going to be like, you should have listened to me. I told you, all of these people, you know, I told you that just because it's in a ball gown at Mar-a-Lago doesn't mean it's not a gangster. And so his naivety about some of the stuff frustrates me. And I know it seems ridiculous. He's not here. How do you get frustrated about that? But it's just like, man, you always woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I'm like, where would we be today if he had listened? We won't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a absolutely beautiful, wonderful weekend. Spend time with your family and know that we are at the gates and we are winning. We'll see you next week.
All right, Chad. That's that Candace episode. Let's get into that Matt Walsh, man. Matt Walsh, which is Candace's longtime friend, I believe, did make a video coming at hers. I haven't watched it, man. Let's see what's going on. Chad, double tap the screen, shut a live out, man.
Louisiana flavor y'all
What
love
the
about
hell
our
is
chicken?
going on? They're trying to make a chicken joke, bro. It's crazy, bro. Am I getting punked right now? A fucking chicken joke. I mean, commercial. I'm calling it a joke. A chicken ass crazy, bro. Chicken ass crazy.
I still remember where I was and what I was doing when I heard about the massacre at Sandy Hook almost 14 years ago. It was the second national tragedy in my lifetime after 9/11 that left an indelible and permanent mark on the conscience, something you remember for the rest of your days. Now, the two events are not the same in terms of their scale, severity, geopolitical importance, or death toll, obviously, but they were so shocking, so morally outrageous that they imprint themselves somewhere deep in your soul, like a kind of psychological impact crater. I also remember just as vividly the conspiracy theories that almost immediately sprouted up like weeds around the Sandy Hook shooting. Within days of the attack, if not hours, it had been decided by legions of internet commenters and a few prominent right-wing personalities, Alex Jones most famously, that the attack never actually happened. It was staged. It was a hoax. The government had perpetrated an elaborate ruse, one that apparently involved hundreds of people, including not just government officials, but members of the media and so on. The dead children were not actually dead or maybe never existed. The grieving parents were frauds, crisis actors, playing a role. Now, none of this was true, of course. There was no evidence to support any of it, but many people apparently believed it anyway. They pointed to weird details surrounding the event, and from those data points, if we can call them that, they constructed an entire cinematic universe. The conspiracy theorists said that the initial reports out of the school were inconsistent and contradictory. There was talk of a second shooter, but then it turned out that it was only one shooter. They pointed to other things like news articles about the shooting with timestamps appearing to show that the articles were published before the event occurred. And most of all, they pointed to the mannerisms of the parents. They circulated clips of the parents smiling or appearing to chuckle or behaving in other ways that were deemed strange and inappropriate. Now, rather than conclude that people respond to grief differently, especially when there are cameras pointed at their faces, the theorists decided that an inappropriately timed smile must be evidence that everything we think we know about the crime isn't true, and instead, their wild competing narrative, for which there was no actual evidence, is true.
Here we go.
In reality, there were reasonable explanations for all of the weird details. Early reports out of mass casualty events are almost always inconsistent. Reports of phantom second shooters are extremely common. Timestamps on news articles can be wrong. And people who are grieving sometimes smile. Anyone who's ever been to a funeral knows that. And at any rate, even if these little tidbits were unexplained, even if we all agreed that they were somehow bizarre and troubling, they still wouldn't prove the conspiracy theory. Indeed, if Sandy Hook was all a highly coordinated government ruse, then why would they post news articles about it ahead of time? Why would they put out inconsistent information? Why would their paid crisis actors be smiling? As is often the case, the conspiracy theory makes less sense of these points than the so-called official narrative does. The conspiracy theory does not do the single thing that a legitimate theory is supposed to do, which is to make sense of the facts on the ground. It makes less sense of them. It introduces even more unexplained and unexplainable variables. It takes a well-supported narrative with maybe a few holes and replaces it with a new narrative that has 10,000 more holes. Now, in the case of Sandy Hook, this wild and baseless theorizing was not just an academic exercise. Real children actually died. Real parents were dealing with a trauma beyond comprehension. And now, thanks to the Sandy Hook truthers, they found themselves cast as the villains of the story. You know, it wasn't enough to suffer the worst tragedy of their lives. Now they also had to deal with being demonized and defamed for no good reason. I bring all this up because it reminds me very much, to an almost eerie degree, of the third national tragedy that impacted me and many millions of Americans so deeply that we'll never forget where we were when we heard about it. That would be the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Just like Sandy Hook, Charlie Kirk assassination has become the subject of wild and baseless conspiracy theories. And just like Sandy Hook, one of the living victims of this tragedy, in this case, Erika Kirk, has become,
what's
for no
up,
good
pretty
reason,
things,
a target. She's been demonized and defamed, and on the exact same basis. The Internet Peanut Gallery has decided that.
So Matt Walsh is Candace's friend, and he's coming out to defend Erika Kirk, man. Now, this is going viral right now. To chat, we're 25 subscribers away from the next goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button by double tapping your screen, man. We'll get back to the news and the monologues and all of this shit tomorrow. Right now, we seeing what's going on.
She smiles at inappropriate times. She rubs them the wrong way. They don't like her vibes. And for that reason, she must be the villain of the story rather than the victim. Now, we're finding out that the internet is like the Matrix. It allows you to construct whatever reality you want for yourself. That's how the trans craze took hold. That's every weird subreddit full of bizarre perverts living out their fetishes in the company of other perverts who share the same interests. And it's what conspiracy theorists do. They marinate in a selectively curated assortment of facts that stitch together whatever story they're telling themselves. The earth is flat, Sandy Hook was staged, Erika Kirk conspired with a half dozen foreign intelligence agencies to murder her husband and frame a gay furry, etc. And this time around, the chief media personality promoting the alternative version of events is, of course, Candace Owens. As you may remember, a couple of months ago, I laid out the reasons why, contrary to claims by Candace, it's clear that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. To the extent there was any evidence of a potential conspiracy, it involved the several trans activists who posted messages online that appeared to indicate.
I'm gonna be all the way honest with you. I don't believe that story one bit. I don't believe Tyler Robinson acted alone if he did shoot, and I definitely don't believe that the bullet that we see here, Charlie Kirk, was a what did they say it was, a 30-06? They say Charlie Kirk got hit with a 30-06. Chad, let me know. What did they say? Wasn't it a 30-06? Charlie Kirk. About 30 out of 6. Yeah, a lot, chat. Yeah, 30 out of 6 is crazy.
At a minimum, that they may have had advanced knowledge of the assassination plot. And of course, there were the strange text messages between Robinson and his roommate, in which Robinson stated that his roommate had seen him engraving bullets. But there was no evidence whatsoever to suggest that Charlie Kirk's associates, or Erika Kirk, or Turning Point USA, or the French government, or the Israeli government, or the U.S. military, had anything to do with Charlie's murder. Now, for months, Candace has stated otherwise. In October, she wrote this message on X, quote, "With all we've crowdsourced, it looks like a decision to murder Charlie Kirk in Utah was made around July 18th. A military meeting with foreign leaders took place on July 20th on U.S. soil. The plane flew into Provo, direct from France, on September 4th, and stayed until just after Charlie was assassinated, flying out to Wilmington on that day. The plane returned home to Egypt the following day on September 11th. In November, Candace provided the following update, quote, "Urgent. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I've deemed the information they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims that the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. I'm told there is one Israeli that is on this assassination squad, and the plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they were well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with a multi-state involvement. I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable, should they care to reach out to me." That same month, she posted this message, quote, "Today is going to be a big day. What we will present in the Charlie Kirk investigation is going to change everything. That is not an exaggeration. Nothing will be the same." In December, Candace followed up with this message on Instagram, quote, "It feels like today will be the day that the government can no longer deny it. Charlie Kirk was assassinated and our military was involved. I can't wait to share this information with you guys today." She also wrote the following on X, quote, "I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. I can now say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA and some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. Yes, I'll be naming names, providing evidence for my claims. You were lied to and leadership knew." Now, around the same time, Candace interviewed a guy named Mitch Snow, who she says she was connected with via email. And Mitch Snow claimed with 95% certainty that he saw Charlie Kirk's head of security, along with Erika Kirk, at a military installation in Arizona right before Charlie was murdered. Watch.
Mitch, welcome to my podcast. It's so great to have you here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here, Candace. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I obviously, you know the story of how I instantly got the email from one of your friends that just said, "You should call Mitch," after I prayed and said, "I'm missing a piece of this. Please, God, give me a piece of the story." And the first email I see when I get back from church on a day of holy obligation is this email. And so, Mitch, my audience is up to date on what happened to you when you were 20 years old. And I'm wondering if you can just sort of briefly recap in case I got some things wrong. I obviously can't confirm that you saw who you say you saw. If you had to put it at a percentage that you saw Brian Harpole, what percentage would you put it at?
95.
95%. Okay.
95 to 99. I mean, when I saw him, on the interview with his face and gestures, with that photo, it struck me in my gut. I blew it off until there was, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erika Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning.
If
So
you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erika Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%.
Now, that interview has nearly 3 million views, and all the comments that are visible, every single one of them, treats the interview like a bombshell revelation. Lord have mercy, one person writes. Nothing will be the same after this. Now, Mitch Snow would later claim on social media that his father was the Zodiac killer. He would also present no corroborating evidence whatsoever for his claim. The claim that, even taken at face value, makes no sense. If Erika conspired with the U.S. military to kill her husband for reasons that have yet to be explained, why would she be meeting at a military base in person to discuss it? I mean, that's not how assassinations actually work in real life. And if all of the most powerful forces on Earth were engaged in this kind of plot, it seems highly unlikely that they'd be so sloppy that some random guy named Mitch could blow the whole thing wide open because he just so happened to be walking by at the exact right moment. So this is a person who is obviously not credible, making wildly implausible claims for which he has no proof. It's hard not to conclude that this is what's fueling most of the conspiracy theories. Random people are sending in tips, making claims, and those tips and claims are taken at face value. Now, the problem is that there are a lot of people feeding information to Candace or posting it online themselves or sending it to other proponents of the conspiracy theory. And there are a lot of reasons why they might be doing that. One of the possible reasons is that they are sincere, sane, honest
What's up,
actors,
XX?
earnestly trying to help crack the case and find Charlie's real killer. But that is
What's
just
up, Corey
one
World?
possible explanation, and by far not the most likely. The other reasons why people might be sending tips to Candace or posting them online, sending them to anybody else or whatever, is that they're confused and deluded, or they're trolls, or they have personal and political grudges that they're trying to settle. Candace has said many times publicly that she has informants inside TPUSA.
Hit the like button,
Why
chat.
might people inside TPUSA be supplying Candace with ammunition against their own organization? Are these honest crusaders for the truth? Possible. It's also extremely possible that these are people with personal grudges and professional ambitions that they've decided are served by sending Candace after their rivals within the organization. And on top of all this, there's the risk that foreign intelligence agencies are contributing to the maelstrom by feeding bad information. Now, certainly the temptation for a foreign intelligence agency to jump into the fray and foment further divisions and chaos with bad intel must be very profound. And if you think that shadowy foreign governments were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, despite there being no evidence to support such an idea, consider the possibility that shadowy foreign governments could also be involved in creating and fueling false theories about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And if you believe that they do the former, then you must believe that they could do the latter. Now, the point here is that any evidence that is based entirely on unverified tips and unverified claims from random sources cannot actually be taken on its own as evidence of anything. There are just...
All right, chat. All right. I done heard enough of Matt Walsh. I get the gist of what he's doing or saying. I was gonna watch some of that Tyler over there, but I'm not. Let's see what Sean Ryan dropped some shit earlier about roadblocks. What's going on over there? I want to check that out. It ain't too long. I worked all day today too, Chad. I'm a little tired. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little tired.
You've seen the security cam footage that the kid walked through this door here.
Holy shit.
And then there was 2 classrooms where this guy mowed down, I think it was 22 children. I hate to say this, but if you want to show what actually ends up happening, you can
Look at that. Look at that. There it is.
Where?
That's the Daniel defense.
The police's response to May's shooting at Robb Elementary School, calling the tragedy that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead the result of systemic failures.
Now, would it surprise you, Sean, if I told you that shooters are referenced Roblox in their manifestos? was called the Roblox Discord. It was owned and operated by employees at the company, and I met my abuser on there. While I was in the hospital, my mom pieced together what was going on. She made an email to Roblox, and Roblox pretty much brushed her off.
Did they know it's their developer?
As far as I know, yes.
So they know that one of their developers is the one that is exploiting kids.
When I told Roblox about all this and why I do the work I did, that's what they emailed me back with. Like, I told them while I was getting these people arrested, I'm doing this because I was victimized. And they responded with the suicide hotline number. That's
Holy shit. Does anybody mention this guy's name?
Everyone's afraid they're going to get sued.
If
And
you give me the name, can I put it out?
Sure.
I want my attorney to have full visibility onto who this guy is and the whole story, because if I get the cleared hot, which I probably will, he's going to be way more famous than Roblox ever could made him.
Like, I would get someone arrested, and then I get an email from a kid, and they'd be like, you got my groomer arrested.
We got you, dude. I
Yeah.
hate these fucking people, and I will stop at nothing to get them. Come here, my friend.
You're messing with the wrong.
Victims suing them for being sexually assaulted or exploited on their platform.
Yeah.
When was this bill introduced? I got everybody who's supporting the bill right here. We're going to read all their names off.
Yeah, and you know what? We're here to name names.
This legislation provides robust protections to keep kids safe online video game platforms and prevent harmful interactions with strangers and predators.
You know, they all have very ambitious names like Safer Gaming Act, Kids Online Safety Act. Buried in that legislation is a provision that basically gives immunity to tech platforms.
You're the one, like, the victim. I got it.
Oh my God. How am I the victim if I'm okay with it?
Nice. Did I get it? Yeah, you got it. These are the biggest companies in the world, and they're looking for immunity from our Congress.
What do you think the point of the mass shootings gore was?
I think that these people genuinely are evil, and they believe in chaos.
You think it's a satanic cult?
So this is a Sandy Hook game on Roblox, and you have to shoot your way through the glass, like how the shooter did.
This is crazy. And they're having them shoot kids?
Yeah.
And you get points
You
for,
get and there's kids screaming in the game.
And who makes this game?
I have no idea, but you would think Roblox would send a cease and desist to the people making this. You know?
New here at 4:30, the gaming platform Roblox and some other popular social sites are once again under fire over child safety issues.
Why are we bringing these cases? Because we want to hold them accountable for knowingly putting their profits over the safety of kids.
You probably heard the name Roblox, right? Very popular.
A new case involves the sexual assault and kidnapping of an Illinois girl.
And this morning, we have an exclusive interview with a father who says his son became a victim despite using the game's parental controls.
But a group of lawsuits allege that the company behind the online video game isn't doing enough to protect its users.
The game next to it is a Tinder game on Roblox. They have Tinder on Roblox. Oh, you freaky. Do you see that?
Are you fucking serious,
First guy.
dude?
Yeah, you freaky. Yeah, he's wanting to...
Are you? That was like 5 seconds again. Gosh, that was like the first
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the thing that you don't want to talk about.
Damn, I don't know who Schlip is, chat, but that shit got me wanting to see what's going on. But yeah, chat, we finna get up out of here, man. I still got some work to do. I'm tired. But I do still got some work to do. I gotta get the online the website set up so I can get y'all The plug said coffee mugs and shit like that. I gotta be able to get that set up and yeah, chat. I had to work today and do some shit. So, but we showed up. We weekender plug still in the building, man. We here all weekend. We still gotta watch that Tyler over stuff. I still gotta get the news because it's a lot going on. Trump's talking about a friendly takeover of Cuba. Anthropic has 6 months to phase out of the government. What else is going on? Oh yeah, they're saying it's a 90% chance that we do tax on Iran by Sunday. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. But yeah, I gotta get that together. What else is going on? Oh, the Clintons. Damn, the Clintons testified, right? And they're saying that Bill Clinton said he didn't see Trump do anything. We know Trump said he thinks Bill's a good guy and shit like that. So who was that? Comer said that the Clintons' video of their testimony might come out. It was supposed to come out today. I don't think it did. They said it was supposed to come out as early as today, so we can expect that probably next week if it didn't come out today. But yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. I just have a couple things I need to do, and I gotta get some damn rest, chat. I'm a little tired, bro. I gotta lock in. We kind of stayed on to pretty late last night. It's like what 2:33. Yeah, chat. Well, I'll see y'all on the next one. Be sure to hit the like button, man, and I will see y'all on the next one, chat. I might jump into Discord for a while.